welcome to Ferri Unfiltered.
Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure.
I know. Hey, I've not even introduced you. You're that quick off the mark. Hey, I've got Lynne Goudie here. So, Lynne, you're all goodie?
Yeah, all good.
I'm sorry, but we had a pure technical fault there, and it was so. I was sort of blaming Lynne and going, "Oh, it must be something with Lynne's computer," when it wasn't. It was actually me and this new mic, and I'd plugged my headphones into my mic, said I couldn't hear Lynne, but Lynne was actually talking fine. It was actually going through my headphones. It was an
To be
absolute
fair, if it
schoolboy
was
error.
a technical fault, you would think it was me. I'm not that good with technology, so
I did actually think it was you. I know. That's really bad. The fact that I just was running me going, it's obviously Lynne. It's not me. I'm
if you're
sorry.
getting my technical backup team in and all that to help me.
The IT squad. Oh, man. Lynne, as we were saying earlier on, I seem to be recording all the time from my bedroom, and you're in. So technically, I'm in bed with you now.
Yep, we're in bed together. I'm in my bedroom too.
It's the same bedroom, right? So there you are. But so
We're kind
Lynne,
of the same headboard, just around a different way.
it is. It's sort of like we've got a grey theme going here. So technically, if anybody's watching this on YouTube, they'd just be thinking she's right beside me now. See, mate, this is what's happened. So I've been trying to get you on for ages because I think it's amazing what you've done. You're totally changed career and you're now into yoga, which I find very interesting. And I've done some sessions with you in that, and I think it's really, really good. So I think it'd be great for people to understand a wee bit more about yoga. And I think you should. Well, I like listening to you. So see, when you're sitting telling me about things about yoga, I listen, which is very, very good because sometimes I totally switch off. So why
I've
don't we
never
talk?
noticed this.
You've never noticed that switch off? No, you're an absolute wido. So cheeky bitch, man. She's just on the podcast. She's ripping the piss at me already. Right. So, Lynne, what made you decide to change career and go into yoga then?
So what made me decide? It wasn't really a decision like that. I basically took redundancy from my job. I was a project manager for British Gas and I worked there since I left uni, and I loved my job and it was brilliant. But I've got 3 kids, so when I was having Aaron, my third, I just decided like I couldn't really manage it anymore because I used to travel every week to London for years, and in the last couple of years I was mostly based here, but it was just too busy. Laptops at night time, laptops at weekends. My husband, as you know, does a busy job and he actually lives away normally whenever we don't have coronavirus.
It's true.
So I'm on my own with the 3 boys, so I'd given up because of that basically. And mostly I started yoga because I had a sore back. As you know, I like to do weights and go to the gym quite a lot. So my form probably wasn't always great and it's wear and tear, sore back. So I started yoga because of that. I'd done it like, over the years, but never consistently. And then I loved it. Basically, when I started at this time, which was only consistently about 2.5 years ago, started going every single week without fail. Maybe once or twice a week, I was finding that it was helping my sore back, but it was more mentally. I was finding I was just getting peace. I mean, I've always been a busy person with loads of stuff to do, lists and all that, and it just was bringing me back to my own mind. It was just like bringing me out of all the chatter and just making me feel present in life. Maybe not, well, at the start it was maybe just for that day or for a couple of days and things like that, but I just found more and more it was changing my life. I used to have to go to Reiki or acupuncture or something like that religiously because I could feel like myself getting agitated after a couple of weeks, and I would go and have Reiki or something like that and it would just bring me back down. And I find that yoga, doing that, gives me the same release. It's basically, just brings me back to myself and I'm not got my mind running away all the time. It just makes me more able to deal with life, if you like. But I didn't realise that what yoga was, and I didn't know why it was helping me like that. And I started doing some workshops with my teacher, and she was basically teaching me that yoga is actually a way of life. It's not just getting in and moving your body about. It's not just exercise, if you like. It's no even exercise, really. It's more about working your body. Your body is full of basically meridian lines, nadis, and energy systems, and they're all linked to like your organs, your chakras, whatever it is you want to believe in. But basically, it's working every single part of your body. And if you've got some sort of block in your body, and you do a certain posture, then that's helping you to remove that block. You know, if you've got problems with your digestion or anything at all, you'll find that becomes unblocked. I mean, I would often find at the end of a yoga session, I would feel quite upset, and I didn't really understand why. But it's basically moving things around your body more quickly than you're able to do it yourself, in the same way that Reiki or acupuncture or something like that would do it.
That is very interesting. I did not know that. I didn't know that at all, because I've only recently, like, obviously in the past like 2 years, like, sort of discovered like Reiki. Do you know what I mean? So, is that all tied in, like, sort of like the chakra system with that? Do they run the same, like the colours and all that? Is it all the same?
It's basically all the same thing, and they work hand in hand. I'm not saying I would never do Reiki again, because I still do, because I enjoy it. But it's the same sort of thing. It's the same way of moving the energy around your body. But the main thing is, it's actually your breath, controlling your breath and being able to control your mind. So yoga is the ability to still the mind. And sometimes that is just by doing the hour of the postures. And a lot of people think yoga's easy, it's just stretching. But probably, you know, obviously coming to my class or whatever, it's not easy. So you are having to concentrate on what you're doing in terms of the posture and things like that. But you're using your breath. So your breath, your inhale through your nose is lengthening, you know, creating space, and your exhale is to soften you into whatever posture you're doing. And that softening might be like some sort of, like, I mean, half pigeon or something like that, which is quite difficult for people if they've got tight hips.
Okay.
Then you just use your breath, your exhale, and there's stuff I can do now that only a year ago I could not do. Like, I just couldn't do it. And it's not that I'm practicing it all the time, that specific posture, but just keeping practicing yoga, and then I'll go to do something that I've not done in a while and I'm able to do it. Just find it's fascinating. It's so magical. It really is. That's what my teacher used to always tell me. Yoga's magical, and I used to be like that. Well, I mean, it is quite good, but I'm not sure about magical. But it is. I can't believe the difference it's made to my life, really.
See, I think it's brilliant, and it's something I definitely need to get into more of doing. Like, it's funny you talk about the breath, because last week, Jack that I had on, that's what he was talking about, was breath, and how taking a big breath in and that big sigh or big breath out, and he's like, it's just like a big reset. It's like, and people need to do that more, and like take a moment to sort of like breathe properly. And then I thought of you, and I'm like, right, we need to nail this podcasting, because he's talking about the same thing, and he was talking about chemicals in the brain and things like that, and I'm like, it's crazy how everything's sort of like interlinked, like, and like Reiki this, and then you're going into sort of like psychological things, and it's like mental. But do you find like doing, like, when you went to Reiki or went to yoga, like just getting that hour, just being you, did you enjoy that as well?
Love it. See,
Right.
it's your time. It's your time. And still, I mean, just because I'm a yoga teacher doesn't mean I don't worry about things and I don't get stressed out or whatever. But I've got tools that can help me. And the breath is basically 3 times more effective than actual physical asana. So the physical postures and stuff. Your breath is more effective. And that's what I think has changed me. I mean, there's things changed in my kind of menstrual cycle and all sorts. I don't know if you want that information in your podcast. But
Baron, why not? Why
like
not?
physical things that I've been trying to change, like by going to the doctor and stuff, since I had my first kid, who's 11 in January. And that, because I practice this breath work, and I honestly think it is the breathing, that's what's changed. So just taking that deep breath in, everybody breathes into their chest, they're not breathing into their tummy. And it means you're not, like, your blood cells and things are down at the lower part of your lungs, and you're really only breathing into here. So every cell in your body needs breath, needs prana. So you're breathing in, your wee breath, and out. So your heart's having to pump, 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 pump to get the air from here into the blood cells to get them all around your body. Now, I'm not a doctor, I'm not technically minded in terms of the anatomy.
You're sounding good there, man. You could have totally portrayed you were a doctor there. You didn't even need to tell MD.
Dr. Goudie, my father-in-law, he was a doctor. Basically, you're wanting your air to mix with your blood. So taking that deep breath physically means that's mixing and it's getting out to all the different areas of your body much easier. So you're helping your heart basically by taking that deeper breath. And then obviously, like Jack was saying last week, just taking that deeper breath in calms your full nervous system down. So everybody in life really these days, we're living in fight or flight mode by just taking that wee shallow breath. We're all stressed out and we need to do this and we need to do that. And we're not thinking of our breath, but we're not really fighting or flighting. We're not getting, the oxygen into your digestive system and stuff. If you're constantly stressed out and feeling your tummy all like stressed up, then your blood and everything's going to your limbs, helping you with your fight or flight, but you're not really fighting or flighting. Your digestive system is then, everything's, your air and all that's going away for your main organs and stuff, and it means you're causing problems like dis-ease in your body, disease. So, things that happen in terms of maybe problems with your digestion or anything like that, anything that happens in your body, you can heal it by breathing, taking control of your breath. I mean, obviously, I've not tried it, but I honest to God think that's why things with my menstrual cycle and stuff have came good, by taking control of my breath and just taking deep breaths in to my tummy, holding them and back out again.
Do you find you're doing that more now? Like you said, you've learnt loads from it. So if you find you're in more of a stressful situation, stuff like that, you're able to control things a lot better than you were before.
Certainly. Like, I feel as if I do the breath work all the time. Like, I'm washing the dishes and taking the breaths in, because I physically feel as if it helps everything in my body. Driving the car, talking to the kids. But what I feel is like, I used to be more irritable and like a bit more stressed with the kids and stuff like that. Whereas now I just feel, and even like with everything in life, I just feel as if I can take a step back and, not every time, I'm human, but I take a step back and I can just look at things and not react the way I maybe would have one day. And I know that people are just, everybody's dealing with their own stuff, and no matter what happens or what people say or do and stuff like that, everybody's trying their hardest. And I guess I feel like I can step back and see that everywhere now, and I'm I can deal with the kids better. And I mean, that comes with age as well, I suppose. And Cooper's 11 sometimes, or in January sometimes I want to just go back to the start and realise that all the wee hard phases were, they don't last forever. Everything changes. And that's the other thing, I used to worry more about certain events or things happening, like to the point of I couldn't see straight because I'd be so worried about things. And I just feel like I can accept things for what they are a bit more now, and it is just by keeping practicing the breath and the postures and just being more aware that things happen round about you, but you don't need to jump in and be kind of all involved in it all. You just step back and whatever's going to happen,
Aye. You can see it from other people's points of view now, stuff like that. You can actually look at things. It's great. Do you think that's part of the thing? Obviously, that your job's completely changed as well now. Like a totally different career. Like you're not as boom like you were saying, like having to go to London, do all of that. That's obviously going to have, like, you feel this is better now. You can sort of balance everything around your family.
100%. Although sometimes, like, the fact that I left that job, that was like even more of a thing in my mind, because I'm like, well, what am I now? That I kind of identified with that job. That was me, and I'm like, so what am I now? And that would cause a lot of anxiety for me in terms of, oh, so I'm just a mum now, and like, what am I doing with my life? And so it kind of, was a double-edged sword, that leaving my job, because that was my identity. And it is a lot better like being able to be here for the kids, I would never, ever, ever be able to go back to that, I don't think now.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I did the yoga was not really to become a yoga teacher right away or anything. It was more for me and my family, you know, to be a better mum, and also to give them tools to be able to deal with life, you know, and they don't need to wait till they're my age and learn there is a way, like to be not stressed out, you know, when they've got their exams and stuff, like how they've got breathing techniques. And even, I mean, we kids these days, they do seem to get more worried about things than probably I did when I was younger. So it's just, you know, better for the family overall that I can be here. I don't need to be working all the time, and I am a better mum as a result of this, and not being irritable and stuff all the time. But being able to show them how to do it as well, and they love it. Like they love, like they're doing yoga, like and
It's
stuff.
great. I mean, Sophia's actually, they've introduced like yoga into their nursery now, and I think it's great. And she'll like, practice, and you can put like, do you know, you've seen cosmic yoga on like YouTube? I mean, she'll sit and do the whole Frozen one, and she'll just sit and practice with her yoga mat, and she does it, and you're like, this is brilliant. Like, it's so good. And I think it's great. And I think it's great what you've said as well. Like, you didn't, now you're sort of like, you had that job, and then it took it, obviously it's changed, and you've thought, like, who am I now? And you're doing something, but you've done something just as a hobby to begin with, and it's sort of like now became like a new career. And as you're completely right, but you don't want to be identified by like a job. Like I started this podcast and everybody assumed it was fitness, and I'm like, it's not. It's just me talking shite to people, and that's the whole idea. And it is because I don't want my job to identify as, oh, who's that Chris Ferri? Oh, well, you know what I mean? It's all gym and health eating. No, like it's not. It's not about that. Do you know what I mean?
As well.
Aye, you're a real person that likes pizza. No, by the way, see me going to this subject, Lynn, the asking you about pizza. This could, this could, this could make or break our relationship. I'm not going to lie. Every bloody time, man. I've never realised. But we'll not go on to that now. That's later on. That's later on. But so see with your yoga and that, like I really enjoyed it from like I started doing a bit of yoga. I went obviously with Claire. I went to like a wee yoga thing and everything like that. See, when I was doing it, I found it really helpful with like after my operation. So like, see my core stability, my scar tissue, and I know it's not like you were saying, like not exercising, but I found it really good. Again, switching off, but I really like that. But like, I found it really good just starting to build up my core again, and I really like that. Have you found? This is I'm sitting saying, yeah, I'm not going into a fitness thing, and that's me dive bombing right in with a fitness bit. But do you find that like your core strengths get stronger, flexibility, things like that?
100%. Like I can't believe it sometimes. But today, so I had my class this morning, and we were focusing. So this is late summer season. I do seasonal yoga, as you know, and this season is all about grounding and centering and just coming down from summer, if you like. Usually
Right.
summer's a time where you're obviously going your holidays and spend time with people, and we did get to spend a bit of time, you know, even though we were in lockdown before that. So it's about centering, grounding, connecting to the earth, and also like reflecting on what you've done before. So a lot of the work we do is core work in this season, because you know everything's coming from the core. So it was quite interesting this morning. It's quite hard actually teaching and talking at the same time, Chris. I really take my hat off to you.
Oh, try doing spin. Try doing spin and doing it. Oh my god. It's like, I mean, I can talk, but see doing spin and try to get I know like talk to everybody, you're blowing out your arse. Oh,
I'm like pure sweating buckets. I was trying to do, so we did a normal plank, and then we were taking one leg up, then down, and then we were going over to side plank, but then our underneath leg we were bringing up to our elbow. I'm like in the middle of it. So core strength, I would say. I mean, when I started this, there's no way I could have done that. And there was other things that I was doing that I do in the classes, and it's like balance, but it's all coming from the core. And I
right.
remember when I started yoga, I mean, I just used to fall over doing most of these things. I would just fall, like I'd be like, I can't do this. And like last week we were taking our toes and like pulling our legs up. And I remember I used to be in the studio. The beauty of Zoom is these people who are doing it in their own houses, they're not like rolling into the person in the mat next to them
This
or
is
whatever.
true. This is true, mate. This is true.
Whereas I would just be like rolling back and falling over and all that. But luckily, I never took it too seriously. You know, I loved it that much that I wasn't getting pure embarrassed and saying, I'm not coming back to this because it's just a redneck. I mean, it is a redneck, to be honest. But I was like, I don't.
You do a Zoom class, there's guaranteed somebody's going to fart as well. So you've got the Zoom thing where you can mute it. Do you know what I mean? You've got the beauty of that as well. Right, so, see, you talk about seasonal things. What were you saying?
Seasonal thing, yeah.
Seasonal, right. So see your seasonal things. Go and talk me through the seasons. Like, so I want to know more about the seasons. Like, you're talking about summer, autumn, winter. How does that all go with yoga and with like people and how they feel? Go and tell me a bit more about that.
So this is so it's Julie Hanson and Sue Wood and Marit Atkinu, I think you pronounce Marit, but it's 3 women who came together. One of them like a kind of fitness yoga person, another was like a kind of meditation, would go to India and go on retreats for months and meditate, and the other one a traditional Chinese medicine lady. And basically the 3 of them have put this seasonal yoga together, and it's basically just living in the season like people used to in the olden days. But now we don't, you know, we don't know what food you should be eating and what's in season and what's best for your body. And that's what people used to do, because it would be like, you know, you'd be getting crops based on the season and you would be eating what there was then. You would work according to daylight and, you know, nighttime and stuff like that. So it's just that. So we're in late summer. They have broken up summer into early summer and proper summer and late summer. So we're in late summer. So early summer's kind of just you're building up to your full potential. Summer is where it is your full potential. That's your fire element, and you're looking at doing a lot of your cardio work and stuff like that, and probably a bit more challenging postures and stuff. And again, you're eating like what's in season, like berries and all that, and it's a time of like kind of socializing and laughter and joy and that kind of thing. And late summer is just coming down off of that, if you like, and it's starting to centre and ground, but we're working on the stomach, the spleen and the pancreas just now, and that's your immune system and your digestive system, and you're basically looking at strengthening them through your breath, your postures, what you're eating, what you're drinking and all that, so that when it's coming to autumn, you've strengthened your immune system and your digestive system in time for the colder weather. And it's obviously like good just now with the coronavirus for people to be working on like all their immune system and stuff through yoga, basically strengthening themselves. A lot of stability, like we'll work in the strength through your legs and stuff, which is working the meridian lines of the stomach, spleen and pancreas, because they come up the legs, basically, the outside of the legs and the quads, the shins and the quads, and like up to the middle of your body and stuff, and your stomachs and your face and stuff as well. But it's all working all these energy lines and getting you strengthened up for autumn, winter. Autumn, you know, it's all, you're just kind of coming down again, you know, it's all kind of a bit of a cycle where, and then in winter, that's your really yin time, where you're really not supposed to be kind of starting diets in January and all that. You should be nourishing your body, nourishing yourself. You're a bit, you know, taking time to hibernate in winter.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're moving on to spring, where you're building up again, and it's all a build up until summer, where you're coming out, you know. And spring was actually what I did in for the charity thing in Ferri. We'd launched the spring season there, and it's just again about building your foundation to grow from, for you then to reach your full potential in summer and back down again. So it's just working with the seasons basically.
I like
even
it.
like it's telling you like all the manuals and stuff. It's like what postures to do, what breath work to do, what organs we're looking at, what the meridian lines are in association with those organs, and you know what to eat and what to drink, and even, you know, wear a scarf like to protect the back of your neck, where like you get like viruses and things coming in, so you'd wear a scarf like on a plane or public transport and things like that. Like it's right down to what to wear. So that's why I really love it. That is why I really love it. That is what the seasonal aspect of it is. It's telling you everything. At the end of the day, I don't do it all. It's not like only eating what's in season. I do
Right.
pizza, and as you know, I like my glassy red wine or whatever, but it's like, you know, it's making the majority of good choices in your life, having a balance and having that knowledge to know what's good for you and what isn't and stuff, but having a balance so that you're happy.
That is very interesting. It actually makes sense, but when you say it all, like, see, with seasons and like building up, and I totally agree with you. Like, it's really good, and it makes sense because people do start to hibernate in the winter. Like, look at you, eh? Fountain of knowledge there. Does yoga tie in with like, see, with like your whole, see, with like Reiki and the chakra and the colours? Do you start to see, like, so I've also spoke to some people, and when they do it and they see colours, do you see colours?
Yeah, I suppose I do, but I wouldn't say that that's definitely a thing for me. Like, I don't know if I see them or if I'm just making it up because I know what the colour should be.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing like I was at a yoga workshop, and it was an Anahata, like a heart chakra workshop, and then I just see the colours that's related to that because
Aye.
it, you know. So I would say what I do feel is the energy. So I'm a person who I feel the energy. So even in Reiki or while I'm doing breath work. So if I'm doing a specific breath that's for like your Manipura chakra, like, which is here, and that's to do with like your confidence and stuff like that, then I can
Where's your mana put? What is this? Your mana book?
Manipura. It's just like here in your middle kind of thing.
Belly button.
Like in your middle. So
I'm
I
only,
can
I'm
feel
just shouting it out in case people are just listening to this on Spotify, and you can just hear you going, "It's here," and I'm like, "Where the hell is it?"
it is. It's in your kind of middle, and if I'm, or like even your heart chakra, like I can feel that. Like if I'm doing breath work, and say we're doing some sort of meditation, and you're moving through the chakras, like for your base chakra all the way up, I can feel the energy coming all the way up. That's what I feel is the energy. And then the same in Reiki, like I can feel the heat, I can feel the energy.
Yeah. Aye, 100%. That's what I always wondered, because like, I can totally, when you do Reiki, you're like, bloody hell, like your arm, your leg, or something, like you said, the heat is just ridiculous. But it was colours. Like I done a thing called like kinetic chain release I did years ago, right? Right, and so I've got like part 1 and 2 of that. So I did it, and I went to part 2, and I was just totally in my comfort zone, because when I went, everybody was into chakras and at that time I didn't believe it in. So they sat everybody down in the room, and we were all sitting there. And he goes, "I'm going to leave you for 10 minutes, and I just want you to stare at the person." So, but like me and you sit in the room, right? And I'm just staring at you, right? I have to stare at you for like 10 minutes, which was awkward anyway, right? Right. And I was staring at it, and then so he's going in the room, and he's like, "So what do you see?" And this girl was like, I see blue, this blue aura around this person, blah, blah, blah. Comes to this guy, and he's like, "What do you see?" He's like, "Oh, I see red's coming through her." And it came to me, and he goes, "What do you see?" And I went, "Fuck all, I never seen anything." I sat there looking at her for 10 minutes and never seen anything. He's like, "Oh," I mean, it was like, I felt so shite for the lassie. I think the lassie was sitting going, "Have I any colour?" And I'm like, "I'm so sorry. Like, I
No,
never seen anything." So it was just like one then.
I don't see that. Connie can see like your aura and stuff like that.
Aye.
She can see that. I don't see anything like that. No, I'm more of a feeling person. So like if I go into a room, I know what's happening in there. Like I can feel it, like what's
Mm-hmm.
happening with people and stuff like that. And I've always been like that. And I think that's why I did quite well in my job, because I could always read the room. I always knew what was going on with people. But no, I don't see colours around people or anything like that. No.
No, you're a va. I've never seen colours in MD. I just wondered if you had. It's just one of these things.
And I'm naturally, like, I wasn't naturally into chakras or anything like that either. I mean, I still find talking about things like that a wee bit like it is, well, chakras, like, well, you know.
I'm the same. Aye, like 100%. Seeing people, like, as a lot of people I've had on the show and they've spoken about stuff, and I'm like, I don't really know much about it. Like, I've been to a Reiki. You know what I mean? That's about it. You know what I mean? But see,
All
you
I
know,
know is it's like I believe in it, but it's, I mean, it's not my topic. It's, I don't know millions about it, but I'll keep learning and keep learning. but I know that it works, you know, and all the things that I've done with like meditation and the chakras and stuff, I can feel it. I know it works.
See, with regarding like, see, obviously connection, see with reflexology, for instance, and obviously if you hit a point in the foot, it does something. See, you're obviously talking about digestive systems or the heart or the breathing and things like that. Is there certain positions in yoga that are for certain things? Like, see, they're all called different things. Some of them get pure whack. I don't know really many of them. I'm going to total bullshit here. I know, is it down or dog? I think that's about the only one. And that is literally because it sounds like a sex position. That is the only reason I remember it. So I don't really know any other ones. But like, do they all have like certain, like, you're in that position because it helps either the muscle or like the stomach or something? Do they all have reasons?
Aye, they do, and like multiple though. Like, so you could do one posture and it's helping loads of stuff. Like, so for example, today we were doing hero pose, which is where you're kind of sitting up on your knees. So you're sitting up on your knees, and then you come back down onto your heels, but you take your feet out to the side, so you're kind of
Okay.
sitting in between your feet, if you like, on the ground or on a block or something. That's really good for the stomach, spleen and pancreas, because those meridian lines are coming right up your legs. And even like, I think I did we used before, there's a certain part in the middle of the ball of your foot called the bubbling spring, and you just give that a wee massage. That's just like below, you know, your I don't know what you call that bit of your toes, you know, that bit.
Aye.
So the ball of your foot and in the middle, and if you give that a wee massage, that's got a really grounding and centering effect. Like everything, every bit of your body's linked to like every organ, you know, there's all bits like your stomach starts at your eyes and down to your mouth and up to your temple, and then down your nipples, down the whole of your body, right down to your toes. So like there's loads of, obviously, because that's your full body basically, so loads of postures that you do for opening up your digestive system. And you know, we do bridge pose, and that's really good for the digestive system. Like just giving space to your whole core and letting all of that move. And twists are good for cleansing and like kind of giving your organs a bit of a massage and stuff. So we do a lot of them this season as well. So aye, they're all related to, we do them for a reason.
I know, that's what I was always wondered, because when we do you do certain moves and that, and I'm like, I wonder if that benefits this in a certain way and stuff like that. So
And
what's your
even like down dog, like you say, if you're doing a full vinyasa, you're getting the fluid in your spine. So that fluid in your spine moves up and down, up and down, up and down all day long. But see, if you're sitting in front of a laptop or whatever, then you're kind of like cutting it off. So that's giving your brain a wash. Like, you know, when you're coming
uh-huh.
dog and up dog and all that, it's basically washing out your brain, if you like. It's giving you, getting that fluid all moving in the body. It's like what was it Carla had told us? So Carla's an amazing teacher. She did the teacher training, but somebody had said to her wouldn't ever miss out doing their like sun salutations. So just doing their arms up and forward folding and coming back to their up dog and down dog and stuff. Like it's like flossing their teeth for them, because that's how important it is to get your body
Right.
and getting the energy moving in your body. But so every posture is for something. But you know, I always think like people worry about getting the postures completely right, and even I do, like, because now if you're teaching it, you don't want to be teaching the wrong way. But I think in myself, I'm like, see if people are doing the breath work and moving in that direction, you know, like doing the movement, the posture that as best they can, then that energy is going to be moving around the body. And it's more about trying and getting there, and you know, getting that flexibility in the spine and stuff. And you know, yoga keeps you young, Chris, so you need to keep at it.
I know, baby. I'm looking at myself in this camera here, and I'm aging, so I definitely better get back into yoga.
Oh yeah, I know.
I look rough as toast today, but no, that's actually really good. Like, see what you said there, like getting people just into that position, because it's the same with like the gym as well. But like everybody's body mechanics are so different.
Aye.
So like somebody would say, "Oh, should I squat the same as you?" And you're like, "Well, not necessarily." You know what I mean? Because if I've been doing this far longer than you, then this position that you're in, for instance, your squat might be the best that you can do just now, but like over time, when we do it, then it's just going to get better. So no, it's everything's interlinked. I just need to get it sorted in the gym, mate, because it's one of these things. I think it's going to be so beneficial for people in general, like switching off, like getting a wee bit more of that. Their breathing is very, very important, and their movement. Like, what do you plan with your yoga? See, with yoga, do you plan in doing the style you're doing, or do you plan in trying all different styles? Now you get hot yoga and stuff like that. Does any of that interest
I used to do hot yoga. Me and Claire used to go to hot yoga. I did enjoy it. I did really enjoy that. But no, probably wouldn't do that. I would like to do yin yoga, which is like a slower type of yoga, but it's quite difficult because you're holding the postures for a long time. But that's where you would see good changes in your body, like in terms of flexibility and stuff
Okay.
like that as well. So I want to do that, and I do want to do kids yoga as well. And I also would like to get teenagers involved, you know, because I think they could be doing with that. So I kind of feel, as you know, I started teaching in January for part of my course, but only qualified in June. So it's like I would want to get to grips with what I'm doing here. I'm just new. I mean, I'm only in day 5 of my new job, really, because I'm in week 5 of my 8-week block.
All right.
So just getting to grips with that, and then go back and training kids yoga and yin yoga in particular, and also pregnancy. I would like to do a bit of pregnancy as well.
Yes, that's the thing. That's exactly, because it's keeping women moving more and doing more. We've got a couple of women at the gym, obviously, that are pregnant now, and it's great to see them actually still taking part and doing things, and it's really good. And Kirsten, obviously, like my sister, like she now does like pregnancy massage, and it was dead interesting. Like she was talking today, and when the guy's like, "Can you come in and like manipulate my hips and stuff?" She's like, "No, because your hips or your pelvis is so soft in it." And she was explaining it to me, and I'm like, "Whoa, this is like this is proper interesting." Do you know what I mean? She was telling me all about pregnancy massage. So I think it'd be great. Like, is there obviously with yoga, with women being pregnant, there won't be so much they can do. They won't be able to do it all, but it'd just be keeping it going.
Aye, like I mean, I don't know a lot about it. We did get trained. I could train people that are pregnant after 14 weeks, but I just don't want to, because I just want to be sure I knew what I was doing. Like things like no twists and jumping about and all that kind of thing, only doing what's comfortable. But I wouldn't feel like I was giving somebody like the correct, like you want people to feel great after their yoga session.
Mm-hmm.
So I would want to really know a lot about that, but they do need to be careful. But you know that yourself for the gym as well. I mean, I was a bit daft in my last pregnancy. I did quite a lot of gym, like running about mad and all that when I was pregnant. And then see when I did the pregnancy yoga day, and they were telling us what you shouldn't do, and I'm thinking, my God, like.
I know. It's quite frightening. Like some people do, like when they're pregnant, but then some people either keep training or some people just do nothing. So I think even to have the option to do like a wee bit, it would be really, really good. So Lynn, I think we should start diving into some questions now and start interrogating you. I'm saying interrogate you. It's not even really. They're no real questions. They're funny questions. So Lynn, obviously we're in bed together, right? But say obviously, right? So I'm going to go down the stairs and make you a coffee. What type of coffee would I be making you?
I have an Americano with frothy coconut milk.
Off! Look at you. God, today that's actually quite a good choice, by the way. I can't even slag you about that. Fair enough. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Hey, okay. So Lynn, I'm now going to phone us in a pizza. What type of pizza would I be getting you?
Well, do you know, I don't actually ever get to choose the pizza. We just have cheese and sweet corn.
Fair enough. If you to choose
That's
a
it.
pizza, what would you choose?
If I was choosing, I would get like, you know, you get the ones with like Parma ham and rocket and like stuff like that, and you get those wee peppers. I can't remember, is the wee tiny red things that are dead tasty.
Lynn,
Pimento peppers or something, I think.
this is great so far. You're only a winner, by the way. I'm not kicking you out the bed yet. This is great, right? So we're rolling. It's going good. It's going good, mate. Right. So now what we're going to do is you've got 5 people that you can have to dinner, right? So they can be dead but not physically dead, coming back as zombies. So they're just like they're coming back from the past, right? They could be people in your life. try and no choose like Janice that works in Scotland or anything like that, because nobody knows who she is. So try and she's a lovely woman.
I know.
Everybody knows her, but we'll go with some people that you would like to have at your dinner party, and I'll give you 5 people you're allowed.
Right. Well, obviously, I've heard your podcast, so I knew that you were going to ask me this, or I thought you'd probably ask me this, and I'm like, I'm dead boring. I don't know who I would have, but who I do think I would have is Eckhart Tolle. So I've been listening to his like audiobooks as part of the yoga as well. It's not something that I did off my own back. I did try once to listen to The Power of Now and hated it. I'm like, I really want to sit in a room with that guy and just get all his knowledge and know what he's talking about, you know.
Right, okay.
Also Russell Brand, I think he's a bit like a modern day Eckhart Tolle. He talks all the same stuff. I mean, I know he's kind of like Marmite. People either love him or hate him, but I love him.
I really like him.
I love him.
Really like I've seen him live. He's brilliant. I went to see him years ago. It was when he was doing his stand-up stuff, and he was honestly like, we were buckled. He was sitting, jumping off the stage, get off with this guy who looked like a bouncer. It was hilarious. So I'll go with that, mate. I'll accept that one. Right, who else have you got? Sorry, ma'am. You keep going. My thing's going to cut out my laptop, but it's okay. This is very professional. No, it's fine. You keep going.
This is what I love about you, Chris. You don't get harassed about these things. I love it.
It's fine, mate. It's fine.
So my other people are really a weird choice, but I would really like Harry and Meghan. I want to know what's going on with them, and maybe the Queen as well. I'm like, I've never been a pure royals fan or anything like that. It's nothing like that. Although I did like Diana. I'm fascinated by what's going on with them. I'm like,
they're bizarre. I don't particularly get it myself. Like, but at the same point, I don't know. I'm not really a royalist. I'm probably the wrong person to ask. Like, I'm not in the royal family whatsoever. Although,
apart from like, I'm a bit like, if anybody's famous, then I'm a wee bit starstruck. I must admit.
I know what you mean, mate. I know what you mean. I did like. Have you ever seen The Crown on Netflix?
No, I never.
Right now, I was the same because I was like, the monarchy. Well, I'm not listening. I'm not watching it. Watched it. So good.
Was it?
Aye, because they're all bastards. So it's hilarious and it's so good, but it's actually during it, you're like, you actually got out with the Queen, you're like, I actually feel sorry for her. Like, I don't have like any, I really don't like her. You're like, what? Like, she never really chose that position. She just sort of got told that's what you're doing.
Like, it's nosiness for me because I'm like, what are you all about? Like, what goes on in there? Why? It's so weird. So that's why.
So you've got Harry and Meghan, so they're taking up the two of them. You could take the two of them.
I'm taking the two of them and the Queen, I think.
What the fuck? So you've got Harry, Meghan, the Queen, Russell Brand, and
Eckhart.
Aye, there we go. That's your 5. That's, mate. It's a very royally table. Like, I mean, I don't know how pizza's going to go down with them. But
they're quite posh.
Okay, do you know what? You can make them use a knife and fork when they're eating it. That's going to make it posh.
They just need to live it.
Right, we're going to go on for that. So that's your dinner party. You've just took up all of them with the Lincoln royal family, right? And then now what we're going to do is dive into. It was actually Connie. It was your mate that got me doing this. So books. Give us 3 to 5 books, or 3 books, right, that you would recommend people listen to or read that you've really enjoyed. So it could be Mills and Boon, it could be Russell Brand, it could be whatever you want, man. Go and choose.
I used to read like normal books, like for just no reason before I had kids, but now I don't. Like the Hunger Games, stuff like that I used to read, and I could stay up all night and read that kind of thing. But what have I been reading lately? So on my audio is A New Earth, Eckhart Tolle. So that's the audio book I'm listening to just now. And The Power of Now was before that. But I think in between that, I also listened to that Oprah Winfrey one.
Yeah.
What's that one called again? What I Know for Sure.
Right.
That I really like. I like all of them, but I would say that the Eckhart ones that I had listened, like, it just depends where your head's at. Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life, I refer back to that all the time. That's a book where you can actually look up, if you've got a sore finger, you can look at that book and say, what's wrong with your finger? And it was actually Denise, my friend, who bought me that book, but Connie and Denise really like that. That's where that's come from. And also Untethered Soul, by Michael Singer, I think it is, that wrote that. But they were all yoga ones, but they really resonated with me. And so the Untethered Soul is all about, like, you are this person, obviously, and you've got thoughts, and you're like, you've got this body, you've got your thoughts, you've got the way you react to things, your emotions and stuff like that. But that's not really you. That's just you reacting. You're having that emotion. Like, you're in this body, but this body isn't the same all the time. It changes, you'll get older, you're not the same. You're inside there, you're something a lot more than that. And again, that's obviously for the yoga, like, just that ability to step back. So you get mad or you get sad or whatever, that's true, but really, you're more than that. Getting angry at somebody because of something that they said or done to you, that's just the emotion that you're feeling at that time. So I really, really like that Untethered Soul because of that. And Louise Hay for going back to, and Eckhart, I find, keeps me in check about not getting carried away with your ego and like worrying about things. I like to listen to that. I need to always go back and listen to it again, different bits again and again, but I would say they're good for just reminding me to stop worrying about things, basically, and that everything doesn't last forever. Things change, and
very true.
I like a wee worry, so listening to them and doing my breath work helps me with that.
Mate, this is some good suggestions. I always fight seeing I do the podcast. I have to go back. I listen to them, and then at the end bit you're like writing down books, just writing down like ideas. And oh, actually, I never heard of that one. I'm going to get a couple of these. I love books. I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks, to be honest with you, recently, because like you say, like, see, just finding time. There is always time. It's a case of like you need to make the time, and I've not made the time for that. Aye, this is it. So like I've got, what have I got beside my bed? Grit, it's called.
All right.
I know, it's just about grit, like as in the road. And I'm kidding on, it's not. It's about like you're sort of like being more resilient to things, and there's like loads of different subjects in that, and it's actually quite good. It's a bit like I just need to like go to my bed earlier and sit and read it and do that. But mate, these are some good suggestions. I say go to bed. I'll just turn over and I'll give you it, mate. Don't worry, you can read it later on.
Aye, I was going to send me that, but of course I'm right there with you.
You're right beside me, and it's just in my side of the bed. That's all it is, Lynne. This is great. At least your husband and my wife all know each other. This is the beauty of this podcast.
Yes, I know us in bed together.
Exactly. They're in bed with each other in another room. Right, so there you go. Lynne, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. You've timed it beautifully. I've got 3% left in my battery. So very, very well done, by the way. But no, thank you so much for being a guest. And
thanks for having me.
Oh, it's been an honour, mate. So I'll just go down the stairs and make your coffee now, and I'll come back upstairs with the pizza then. Right, Lynne, thank you very much.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.